Dear student, welcome back again to our course MSD 019 Global Strategies to Sustainable Development. We are going to look into this session on achieving SDG-4, that is education by 2030. So, in this session what I am going to do is that we will look into the different targets and indicators under this goal, and will try to look into what are India's progress and a brief into global progress also. So, when we talk about goal number 4, it is about ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. It has 10 global targets and with 12 indicators. When we talk about quality education, the challenge is globally what pointed out by UN is that every 103 million youth worldwide lack basic literacy skill. Of that, more than 60% are women. What we are going to do for a better solution? We need to promote education for all. It is a powerful tool to build sustainable resilient society. Then another challenge in front of us is lack of access to basic services such as water and electricity that prevent children, especially girls, from going to school. What we need to do? We need to improve access to basic services, to free children's time to so that they can go to school. Because when you do not have basic services at your home, then children are engaged, especially girl children are engaged to catch the water, to fetch the water, right. Another issues in front of us is natural disasters such as floods, drought, that makes more students, children dropping out from the school for extended period of time. So, we need to build a resilience to ensure children at least they can go to school all time, even during the extreme climatic event also. So, to look into that, as I mentioned you that we have 10 targets and 12 indicators. What are those targets? First targets, that is ensuring that all girls and boys they complete free, equitable and a quality primary and secondary education that leads to relevant and effective learning outcomes. So, to look into this, these are indicators. Proportion of children and young people in grades in terms of proficiency in level in reading and mathematics, then completion rate of schooling from schooling to upper secondary education. I mean schooling means primary education to upper secondary education. So, when we look into the global progress, so far as per UN SDG report 2023, the completion rates in primary and lower secondary level education continue on an upward curve, while the percentage of young people completing upper secondary school increased from 53% in 2015 to 59% in 2030. This is increasing. However, it is at a slower pace if we look into relation to the progress in the preceding 8-year period, and as this again we need to look into how to improve it. We need to improve. Okay, that may be the decline may be due to COVID-19. That may be because of the region. This has become one of the hurdles to improve any of the global targets when we talk about UN SDG. Okay. The second target of this goal is ensuring that all girls and boys have access to quality early childhood development, care and pre-primary education so that they are ready for primary education. So, indicators include proportion of children aged 24 to 59 months who are developmentally on track in health, learning, and psychosocial well-being. Okay. Then participation rate in organized learning 1 year before the official primary entry age, means preschool. Okay. So, when you look into global data, mainly from low and middle income countries that look into 2015 to 2023 shows that approximately 2/3 of young children are developmentally on track without any significant gender differences. But if you look into data, you will find out there are disparity, wide variations among countries region. So, in 2022, it was observed that globally 7 out of 10 children participated in organized learning 1 year before reaching official primary school age. Right? Then global 4.3 target is on by 2030 ensuring equal access for all women and men to affordable and quality technical, vocational, tertiary education, including university level. So, participation rate of youth and adults in formal and non-formal education training in the previous 12 months is indicator to look into this target. So, if you look into this target, around 1/6 of individual as 15 to 64 have participation in education training, right. So, it is significantly higher among youth as 15 to 24 compared to 24 to 55. With an average participation rate of nearly 50% across most of the region, right. Then when look into target 4.4, substantially increase the number of youth and adults who have relevant skills, including your technical and vocational skill for employment, decent jobs and entrepreneurs. We have the indicators, that is proportion of youth and adults with ICT skills by different type of skill, means information communication technology skill. We have another target, eliminating gender disparities in education and ensuring equal access to all levels of education, maybe vocational training, especially for vulnerable groups, like person with disability, indigenous people, children in vulnerable situation. So, parity index is indicators to look into this target, that is for all education indicator on list that can be disaggregated based on their category, right, that parity index indices. When you look into this target, is we know that socioeconomic disparities that is highly prevalent in education, affecting various indicators, various society if you look into the field also. So, global and regional parity ratios that may have high gender inequalities within countries and disadvantaging either girls or boys. So, disparities based on location of household wealth are more pronounced with rural or less influenced families facing greater challenges. So, these gaps that widen at a higher education level, leading to increased dropout rates and fewer opportunities for those from disadvantaged background. This is what exactly happened in the ground level. Target 6 is on ensuring that all youth and a substantial portion of adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. We have indicators of proportion of population in a given age group achieving at least fixed level of proficiency, functional, literacy and numeracy skills. Then we have target 7, that is ensuring that all learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development in all aspects, most of the aspects, including your lifestyle, human rights, gender equality, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, and so on. So, we have global citizenship, education, how much extent we are able to do education for sustainable development, that is mainstreaming in your syllabus or not, and whether you have national education policy, what kind of curriculum structure, what kind of teacher education, enhancing teacher education, whether the student assessment is done or not. These are some of the indicators. The targets which is listed at 4A is building and upgrading education facilities that are child disability and gender sensitive and provide safe, non-violent, inclusive and effective learning environment for all. So, proportion of schools offering basic services by type of different services is the indicators to look into progress. So, when we look into this progress, only globally, only half of all primary schools have the basic infrastructure and materials that provide adequate schooling experience to pupils with disabilities. 1 in 5 primary schools globally does not have single-sex sanitation facilities. So, on an average 44% of primary schools, it is as per SDG report 2023. 44% of primary school, 56% of lower secondary school, 69% of upper secondary school had access to internet in 2022, almost double electricity. 81% have computer for pedagogical use and 69% of schools are connected to the internet. Sure, in the coming days we will be able to achieve more. So, the target which is listed as 4B is substantially expand globally the number of scholarships available to developing countries, in particular least developed countries, small island developing countries and African countries for enrollment number in different higher education sector, including vocational training, information communication technology. So, to look into that, we have volume of official development assistance posts for scholarship by sector and type of studies as an indicator. We have another targets, that is substantially increased supply of qualified teachers, including through international cooperation for teacher training in developing country, especially least developed countries, small island developing states. So, to look into this target, proportion of teachers with the minimum required qualification by different education level is the indicator to look into this target. When look into this target, as per report of SDG, UN SDG 2023, in 2022, 15% of teachers were still not trained according to national minimum standard in their country. So, no progress on this indicator is observed if we look the base year 2015. So, regionally substantially differ here, there is substantially differ regional wise. Only 70% of teachers met their national minimum qualification requirement to be considered trained, especially in sub-Saharan African country. So, if you look into globally, if we look into the progress, so upper secondary school completion growth slows, yet Eastern and Southeastern Asia, Southeastern Asia that displays remarkable progress. Okay. When we look into the impact of COVID-19 and other factors that have exacerbated declines in reading and mathematics, so there is an urgent need for enhanced climate change, sustainability education, teachers training. Universal pre-primary education is hindered by inadequate legal guarantees, financial barriers. This is some of the observation. So, even there is lacks in basic services in schools that continues to marginalize girls and the students with disabilities. So, a substantial number of teachers are not trained according to minimum standard in their country. So, we need to focus, we need to strengthen all this activity. So, if you look into this, we can summarize in globally the progress so far made is, as far as equal access to education is concerned, we are on the track. When you look into different targets which meets moderate progress category is ODA for scholarship, official development assistant, right. Then when we look into qualified teachers ratio, we are not going well, right. So, when we look into effective learning outcome, early childhood development, no, that is still stagnant, right. So, that shows that many countries face challenges. We also know that So, in that way, let us try to have look into what kind of policy and program in our country, in India, we are implementing to achieve those goals, to take a lead in this field in global context. So, we have been implementing a number of policy program. Of that, we have Samarga Shiksha, New India Literacy Program, Midday Meal Scheme, Pre and Post Matric Scholarship Scheme, we have National Means Cum Merit Scholarship, we have Pare Bharat Bare Bharat. Then we have skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement, we have Eklavya Model School, PM Sri School means School for Rising, Rashtriya Abhiskar Abhiyan, PM Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. So, what are these programs? The Samarga Shiksha 2018 means it was introduced in 2018 is in subsumes of the three existing schemes in that time, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan and teacher education. So, through that we are going to strengthen our education system. We have from since 2020 to 23 we have New India Literacy Program, it is also called as ULAS, Nav Bharat Saksarta Karyagram, that is aligned with National Education Policy 2020. We have Midday Meal Scheme, PM Portion 1995, that gave meal to the student, pupils of up to secondary, this up to the 6th standard. We have pre and post matric scholarship schemes for scheduled caste student, SC student. Right. We have PM Sri School, PM Sri that was introduced in 2020. It is also known as School of Rising India, to improve the quality of education infrastructure in school. This PM Sri School, when we have to look into that, this has an emphasis on environment and sustainability, incorporating the features such as solar panel, LED lighting, nutrition garden with natural farming practices, waste management system, plastic free zones, water conservation and rainwater harvesting. The Eklavya Model Residential School, which was introduced in 1997 and 98, impart quality education to ST children in remote areas. The Rashtriya Abhiskar Abhiyan RAA, which was introduced in 2015, focuses on connecting school based knowledge to life outside school, making learning science, mathematics a joyful, meaningful activity, bringing more focus on innovation and use of technology. And through that, we aim at nurturing spirit of inquiry and creativity, love for science and mathematics, effective use of technology among children, that is gives them to have a hard work towards an academic excellence in the research, right. We have National Means Cum Merit Scholarship that was introduced in 2008 with an objective to award a scholarship to meritorious students of economically weaker sections to arrest their dropout at class 8 and encourage them to continue to study at secondary stage. Pare Bharat, Bare Bharat, that was introduced in 2022. It follows a twin track approach to improve language development by creating an enduring interest in reading and writing with comprehension, and to create a natural positive interest in mathematics related to the physical and social world. Then we have skill strengthening for industrial value enhancement, which was introduced in 2018, a World Bank Assistant Government of India project with an objective of improving the relevance and efficiency of skills training provided through industrial ITIs, Industrial Training Institute, and that apprenticeships. The Prime Minister Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, PM USA, was introduced in 2013 as a centrally sponsored scheme to all states and union territory with a vision to attain higher level of access, equity and excellence in the state higher education system with greater efficiency, transparency, accountability and responsiveness. Now, this scheme was introduced first in the first phase it was 2013, the second phase it was in 2018 in the light of national education policy, and it is relaunched as in Pradhan Mantri Uch Shiksha Abhiyan, right. So, through this implementation of different programs across the country, Kerala among the states and Delhi among the Union Territories top. Kerala with 82 scores and Delhi with 85 scores. They are top among their category in this SDG course. By implementing effectively implementation of different programs which is introduced by central government. So, if you look here overall progress here, you will see at least we are going to improve at different level here from 2018, then 2020-21, 18-20-21 they are decreased in number of states which used to be covered by green, that means front runner has become a performer that scored 50-64, that may be because of the corona that global pandemic. Again, if you look into 2021 to 22-23, here we will see some improvement is seen as when you compare from 2020 to 23-24, right. For example, here you see the coverage of JLO is decreasing while the color coded with green is increasing. So, at least we are trying our best level, hopefully we will be able to increase. If we look into facts in the figure, we will see that net enrollment ratio in elementary education in India is 96.5%, right. Our achievement our target is 100%, right. So, we will be able to improve it. When we talk about dropout rate at secondary level, the average annual dropout rate at secondary level is 12.6%, right. So, 6%. So, at least we will try to improve. Okay. Then when we talk about enrollment ratio in higher secondary, the gross enrollment ratio at higher secondary level is 57.6%, right. When look into student proficiency in class 8, it is approximately 77.23% of student class 8 that achieve at least a minimum proficiency level in language and mathematics in terms of nationally defined learning outcomes at the ends of the grade. When we talk about enrollment ratio in the higher education, we have 28.4% students in the age group of 18 to 23 years. They were enrolled in higher education. When you talk about education level among persons with disability, we have 19.3% persons with disability, that is 15 years and above, have completed at least secondary education, that is 9 to 10. Then when you look about gender parity in education, in higher education between 18 to 23 years, as it is 1.01, that implies that number of females is equal to number of males enrolled in higher education, right. When we talk about literacy level, the literacy among person aged 15 years above is 76.7, and when we talk about infrastructure in schools, 80 in the year 2021-22, 88.65% schools have access to basic infrastructure, which is that bought electricity and drinking water. Then when we talk about computer facility in schools, around 47.5% school in India have computer. Then when talk about trained teacher, approximately 92.2% teachers in secondary schools are well trained. When you talk about pupil teacher ratio, the all India PTR at secondary level stands at 18. our target is to have at least one teacher for every 30 students in our school. Okay. Then if you try to summarize our performance here, you will see gross enrollment ratio. When you talk about 2015-16, we have 48.32, now it is 57.6 in 21-22. When we talk about upgradation of education facility, that also when we talk about electricity 89.3%, I already mentioned it. When you talk about tertiary education GER, that from 23.7% in 2015 to 2015-16, it is around 28.4% 21-22. So, in that way, at least we are improving in our own way, and hopefully we will be able to achieve this goal. So, in this session, what we try to understand is the global target indicators of this particular goal education, quality education. Then we have a look into India's approach to achieve this goal, the different policies and program, especially the different programs implemented at different levels in our country, and we have looked into the performance of our state, which are the top performing states in the Union Territory in this context. So, with this, I would like to conclude that education is the pillar to achieve sustainable development goals, one of the basic pillars to achieve sustainable development goals by 2030. So, lifelong learning, we should continue lifelong learning in that way. As a student of this course, even after completion of this course also, of this program also, please update your understanding in this area from time to time, exploring more on the status report at Global Sustainable Development Framework, Indicator Frameworks report is available online. In the same way in our SDG report, which is published every year in our country also. Thank you very much.